Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Top Percent Podcast. My name is Yas'mine, your host, and today I'm sitting with Tredarouis. Tredarouis is a wonderful friend and a great, fantastic dancer. He has a company called
Immersive Filmmaking. It's a film company, so I'm always in my films.
And today we are going to be sitting down and discussing circle of influence. Let's get into it.
Yes.
Okay, so today the biggest thing is, what is circle of influence?
Yeah.
How can you define it?
Okay, so for me at least, circle of influence is who you surround yourself with.
I believe one of the biggest things of circle of influence is not only who you surround yourself with, but are they benefiting who you currently are and who you are becoming? Are you guys growing together? Or is a circle of influence maybe a little negative or toxic, if you will?
Yeah,
So
of course.
we're going to kind of break down like a couple of questions that are commonly asked for this topic. Okay, so number one is, who is your circle of influence? How would you describe to somebody who doesn't know how to identify those people?
Okay, so for me personally, at least, I'll just go through my personal, like who my circle of influence is, right?
Okay.
So I don't have many friends, but I have one friend who's my current roommate, right? He's like you and I have discussed already. He's a multi-millionaire. This is what he does, right? So he is my circle of influence. I surround myself with the people I want to be like, and he is obviously. I would love to be in his position, right? Mm-hmm. So for him, he's my mentor. So he influences all my ideas pretty much. If I have an idea, I run it by him, so on and so forth. That's what I like, right? And then now currently, since you and I have reconnected, you're a part of that circle of influence, and I strive to be like you as well. I mentioned that in the past. Like I really strive to be more of like like you're so organized. Super inspiring. So I want to be like y'all. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay.
So what I'm hearing is some really key words with striving to be like, or a mentor, and something like that. Those are really powerful words, because in that circle of influence, you are looking to gain and you're looking to experience something similar, or and this is the biggest one, influence. You're trying to be influenced by through their example, through their actions. Is it Julian?
Yeah, Julian. Yes.
Shout out Julian.
Shout out Julian.
So for Julian, the way that you just described him is being a multimillionaire. So he has these attributes and these ways of being that influence you and actually spark your interest into who he is and how he became who he is.
Yeah.
So have you ever experienced, or are you currently experiencing, somebody in your circle of influence who you keep there but are not really influencing you to become better?
Not much. I've experienced it, but I don't have anybody currently.
So what actions did you take in order to not have them in your circle anymore?
Yeah. Well, truthfully, I kind of just left. You know what I'm saying?
So one of the things that I say is you have to identify and become aware of who your current influences are, and if they're not serving you properly, or if you guys are just not mending in the best of ways, then what is there to do?
Yeah.
Detach, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
distance, create that distance. So it was a healthy thing that you've done, right?
Yeah, and I'm a fairly honest guy. You know what I'm saying? I always say what's on my mind. Always in the most like positive, respectful way. That like, if I don't like to be around people who, my weekends aren't used for like partying, drinking. You know what I'm saying? My stuff isn't used for that. So I'm a pretty straightforward guy. When you want to go out this weekend and like do what? Like, oh, we're gonna hit the club? Nah, I'm gonna stay in work. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Because Yeah,
exactly. So then it always comes down to like, I don't want you to think that I just be up and leaving, okay? I do, be like, okay, like, like I don't do that stuff, right? So like, if you want to do this, if you want to do that, but I'm a very big like, I'll tell you what's up. Hey, like, I'm not partying and drinking. I'm just gonna stay inside, and then we just, it creates that distance that we're talking about here, right? It creates that separation, right? And not that partying and drinking is like bad or anything like that, right? Go do your thing. But that's not who I am. So I want to be. I want to work towards something bigger and better and greater, right? And if they don't want that, then I can't associate with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's where it comes from.
So that those people, they can still be named as your friends, identified and titled as friends. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to certain habits and certain attributes that they do not possess or they do not carry, then you guys are not really aligned. And you can, in a healthy way, say no to those things, and maybe even for them, their circle of influence, you would be identified as somebody who is relatively in that circle or very close to them. So you being that example to them, I believe that they can better themselves if they so choose to align with you. Then.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let's just say, for somebody out there who is first understanding this concept of circle of influence and surroundings and environment and how that plays a factor within your mental state and your actual livelihood, the lifestyle that you choose to create, you have full control over that. What advice would you give to them if they are in a situation where they're the center and they have, let's say, 5 people that they are close with?
Okay.
Let's say they're family members. Okay? So this is a circle of influence that is hard to break.
Gotcha.
One of them in particular is a very toxic individual, is always trapping them and persuading them into habits that do not better them. And they know it to be true, but they just are not taking the necessary action. What action steps can they take to make this a healthy relationship?
Okay, for me, it comes down to a mindset. I'm super big on the mindset thing, super big on the mindset, because it's true. A lot of people are very like family oriented, right? And I always tell people, because I'm not a big family guy, not that my family does anything wrong, it's not a big family guy. And this is what I think. Your family can either be the best thing in your life or the worst thing in your life. Just because they're family doesn't mean that they're entitled to treat you or anything any kind of way, right? But typically your family would be the people that you're closest to and so on, right? But we've all seen stories of people who, you know, their mom is super abusive, their dad's super abusive, whatever. In terms of like necessary steps, I think the first one for me, like super important, would be mindset. Stop being easily persuaded into things. And I believe it's honestly, when it comes down to that, it's because you're scared of something, right? Like you're scared of getting kicked out. You're scared of getting hit again. You're scared of something, right? I don't want to make this come from like a whole like abusive, because it doesn't have to be abusive. It could be anything. Like,
But it's to damage
just,
the relationship,
yeah,
right?
I was like, if it's like toxic in general, right? If you're in that situation, right, it's typically because you're letting emotion drive you, right? Like you're scared of something, which is why you'll do something for this person, even though it's toxic, right? Even though it's not good for you. So I'm big on mindset. That's what I would say, right? The first steps that I would say is mindset. Get rid of that fear, you know, like you have to drop that fear. That has to be gone. There has to be some sense of like establishment in terms of like, okay, this is who I am, this is what I want, you know. This is how I'm gonna get it, and if you want that, you gotta get rid of the fear of this. You know what I'm saying?
So
Does that make sense?
yeah, absolutely. Would you agree that in terms of mindset, it is know yourself, know who you are, where you're going, and then you identified already, and you are very much aware that this is the individual, that it's an unhealthy relationship, and there could be a damaged part if you were to communicate it, or if you were to distance yourself. You know, it's not in a healthy way, but it's to keep them there, but not necessarily to influence you anymore. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, pretty much. And I also believe, like, this is, I don't know if it's off topic, but I also believe, like I said, just because they're family doesn't mean you're entitled to treat them a certain kind of way. And some of y'all might disagree with me, but I think every relationship, I think anybody on earth, you're not entitled to be treated or to treat somebody a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Just because of a title.
Yeah, just because they're your family doesn't mean that they are great people and that you should do and listen to everything they say because they're your family. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's how I feel.
I understand that. Yeah, absolutely. Let's move forward into you and Di. So you just mentioned to the audience that we've just rekindled our friendship. You know, how did that come to be? And what were you expecting, if you had any expectations?
Okay. Truthfully, all right, so when I reached out to her. She didn't hit me for like 4 weeks, no, just kidding. But no, I reached out to her, and the ideas of wanting to do content. That's what I was saying. I wanted to reconnect, and the whole reason for me even reaching out to you in general was because I've always seen how you like carried yourself, right? And like she said earlier, circle of influence, right? I know my socials have changed from strictly just like dance videos and my personal interest into doing stuff that helps better people, to help grow, because in the last couple of years, that's what I've been really trying to focus on is bettering myself, right? I believe there's room for improvement every day of the year. So I reached out to her because I felt like she could help me grow. You could help me, like, and I don't mean that in like I'm just like trying to use you. I just mean like in general, right? Like she has this mindset, not a lot of people do at all, right? I have this mindset. Let's put them together, a team of two that think alike and come up with some insane ideas, like we have, right? So that's why I reached out to you. In terms of expectations, I didn't have expectations at all. I never expect anything, so I didn't have any expectations. But like I told you, you've exceeded everything I thought could have been, if that makes sense, right? But I didn't expect you to be any kind of way. We haven't talked in forever. It's been such a long time since we talked. So that's just how it is, though. Because you definitely, you blew my mind. That was all.
And we're adults now, right?
Yeah.
So when we did when we did have a friendship before, it was more nothing in the world exists really, like
Yeah.
responsibilities or anything,
Yeah, we're
right? So it was
freaking
just fun, yeah.
teenagers.
Yes, yes. And then so now, as we're adults, we've kind of steered a little bit away from what's common inside of our generation, but it is to better our lives, better ourselves. And I think we want that for individuals as well, whether they're our age or not, that at any age they can increase their livelihood and as well as advance their mindset.
Yeah.
I think that's something to note as well. He has a mindset page, okay, where you're following him on his journey and he is sharing a lot of content that is relative to increasing your mindset and becoming the best version of yourself. Forgot to mention.
Thank you, though.
Yes, absolutely. And so I would mention that typically I do not respond to people if it is more of a personal based conversation, but he was very professional of everything. He set up a meeting, and that's what I was talking about a little bit earlier. When you set up that meeting, I was ready to take some notes. I was ready. You were very thorough in a message of what the details will entail. And so it got me. I was like, all right, this is exactly what I am about.
Yeah.
So let's set up a meeting. Of course, I remember who you are and the memories that we had and experiences. So therefore, I was like, okay, I know him enough to know what he's about. Now that I trust him and that I know him and have engaged with him previously, let's see what he is currently about.
Yeah.
Now that's different.
Yeah.
So I was very pleased to hear your journey, where you're currently at, and what message you are trying to portray to your audience and to further your audience's growth. So upon doing so, we established that we could collaborate. And then this is one of the collaborations, of course, is this podcast. And truthfully, I feel like the Circle of Influence title today is perfect because it's talking about how we're mending our relationship. Not that it broke or anything, but it's that distance, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that it is wonderful because our audiences are actively seeing what we're doing to create a good circle of influence for ourselves and talking to each other about who we are. We're going to get into it in a little bit, but about what we've been able to learn from another.
Yeah.
And I think it's such a positive message that we're portraying right now. I had no expectations at all, other than, you know what, I'm always open to hearing great ideas. You are filled with great ideas, and I'm very pleased where we're at today. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, so I think we should get into what we've learned so far from another.
Okay.
Based on our experiences.
So here are things that I've learned about you since hanging out, right? So number one, like I said, I'm super huge on mindset, right? And then in terms of like what I've learned from you with mindset would be things like I just like how you carry yourself. That's what it comes down to. I feel like mindset plays a huge part in that too. Is how you carry yourself. For me, and Yas'mine will tell you, when we first met, I'm very cautious on stuff, and I tend to kind of close in. I kind of close in until I really get the feeling for you and stuff like that. She's confident the whole damn time, and I love that. That's what I want, right? I just want to be confident the entire way through. Don't get me wrong, I'm a confident guy, but sometimes I don't want to step on people's toes. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm very cautious what I do. So in terms of mindset, that's what I'm learning from you, at least. That's what I have learned that I'm really trying. People like you and Julian and stuff like that, you guys are very just straight, you guys are straight arrows, and I love that, right? So I'm learning that from you. That's something I'm really trying to get from you as well. And then also the communication thing. I don't know, you be using sophisticated words, and I'm like, damn, hold on, I gotta set my vocabulary, and it doesn't come down to vocabulary. It's just the way that you guys will learn. If you guys know Yas'mine, you know Yas'mine. She's very I don't even know. I always said she's like a business lady. You know what I'm saying? You're very, your chest is always out. You're always very, standing up straight, and I love that. And I know these are some things that people can relate to too, because I'm sure a lot of people, especially if they're not confident, close up and get really, really tight in and stuff like that. But yeah, these are things that I'm learning. I still have a lot to learn about you. You know what I'm saying? I would love to learn more. Truthfully, I've learned so much. I feel like I can sit here and just talk about it all day, to be honest with you. But I would like to say that. I would just say mindset. Because to me, mindset, I would say it over and over and over. I believe mindset is the biggest thing, because when you fight yourself, nobody can help you. That's it. Your mindset is everything. So for me, it's just mindset. Really, that's what I've learned from you a lot.
I appreciate it. Have you seen any attributes that you will take away? You said confidence and increasing your vocabulary and the way that, your grammar, the way that you carry yourself as well. It's not only through me, but you're seeing that in other people as well. So you're saying through mindset, you've seen the way that I've established myself. This is years of growth, by the way. This is years of dedication.
I feel like you're beyond what a lot of people are, especially for your current age. You know what I'm saying? 25, correct?
Yes.
So 25, right? I know people to this day that are older than you that still haven't grasped the concept of like your maturity level, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So when I say you're ahead, I'm just saying like you're literally just ahead of your years. Like you're I'm telling you, you're like a businesswoman, bro. I don't even know how to explain you. It's like a movie character. It's ridiculous, you know? Like I feel like you're like scripted. It's insane, you know? That's like a compliment. No, it's not like I'm saying, but anyways. No, I just feel like you're ahead of the game, bro. It's insane, bro. Like you guys know when you guys meet somebody and they're ahead, right? You're like, damn, like what am I doing with my life? You know, like why am I not here yet? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by you're ahead. You're just you like I said, through discipline, through years of just working on yourself, you're ahead, and that's good. That's perfect. That's all of us would want that, right? So that's what I mean by your head.
Is that like the type of results that you're looking for when people engage in your content?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I want you to look back at yourself and be like, oh, a year ago I was this. I was, I had, whatever. Like, oh, I was going out every weekend, or like I wasn't in shape, or I wasn't in the physique that I would like to be. And then a year later, when you look back and reflect on that, you're like, dang. All it took was, a couple hundred days, and here I am. You know what I'm saying? Like now I feel ahead.
And
like
the habits and everything, right?
Yeah,
so,
of course.
Is it safe to say too that if somebody can reflect back on those 100 days or 365 days, that they can also project what the next 365 days could be?
100%, literally 100%. When I first started trying to like better myself, right? When I really sat there and was like, damn, I hate this. I hate where I'm at in my current life. And what I say is be consistent for the first 30 days. Give it 100% for 30 days and you'll see dramatic change. When I decided to change for those 30 days, right? And we'll talk about filmmaking, right? Because that's been majority of like my adulthood would be my film company. When I did it consistent 30 days, reaching out to people, right? Stop being scared. Reaching out to clients, posting consistently, all that. My Instagram blew up, right? I went from a couple hundred followers to over 1,000 in literally like 2 weeks, like of just consistency and actually putting effort into my content. And then same with client outreach, right? When I went from just talking to 5 clients a day or like trying to like reach out to 5 people and started going, okay, let's reach out to 20 people, 25 people. Yeah, my money exploded too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all, so that's what I say. 30 days, just give it 30 days and you'll see it. So just imagine what a year could do for you.
Absolutely, yeah.
100, I'm 100%.
That's amazing. You are definitely the right person I need to be around right now. I know that. Somebody that is about spreading messages to the world and is actually being that live example, being that inspiration to others. That's who I'm trying to be around.
Yeah.
And if I could share a little bit about myself of this topic today of circle of influence, I have a very small circle, which it's not uncommon for very successful people to have, because you were kind of locked in tunnel vision, focus mode, where the rest of the world and what they're doing doesn't really matter, especially when you're trying to better yourself. You have to lock in and you really have to hone in on who you are. And for me, I've done that for so many years. A lot of people would know this about me, but I did this term called ghost mode.
Yeah.
And it's basically where you just disappear from the entire world. Don't reach out to anyone, no social media, no updates on who you are, what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I love that because I was able to experience my day-to-day, my minute-to-minute type of life.
Yeah.
And upon doing so, I've really found myself. So my circle of influence is pretty small, but I am looking to expand it because I've realized now that it's not about having a small circle, but it's about having the right people.
Yes.
There's this book by Elena Cardone, and she's mentioned the way she words circle of influence is counsel. So it's people that you would sit at a table with and discuss, okay, so this is what I'm currently doing in my life, and these are the people you trust around you. And they all bring in their skills and their love for you, and they tell you the right things. They give you the right information. Nobody's going to tell you you're stupid or some negative wording. They're going to support you in the best ways possible.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm currently doing, is spreading out my energy so that I can attract the right people. I feel like I've done so here.
Yeah.
And I typically stay away from people that I have gone to school with or have grown up with, because I've realized, though we've come from the exact same opportunities of education, jobs, and surroundings, like environment, not everyone's going to end up the same. Not everyone's going to want the best for themselves. And I've talked to you about this previously. But I'd say for me and you to be attracted and to kind of ride on the same frequency here, I think what it's about is we're spreading a beautiful message to the world, something that is going to uplift people, but also we're spreading the right message.
Yeah.
And we're being those living examples and inspirations to others. And so I think that it is very great to have you in my circle of influence. You've gotten me out today. We're doing this podcast today. We're making things happen.
Yeah.
And I'm just very thankful for you.
I'm thankful for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is great. Like I said, I would love to learn about you more. So like, I want to know what drives you, right? And like, how does your everyday kind of like affect like that drive, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think what drives me, like for my life, right?
Yeah,
And where
like to where you want to be.
Ooh,
Right?
yeah, that's a good one. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah, of course.
I think ever since I was young, I've always wanted to do experiments. And what I mean by that is to try different forms of experiments. There is a physical experiment, but social experiments. And I've always tried to position myself in different lifestyles, seeing what fits, what I want to take from. And I think what drives me is that there are so many different forms of everything out there in the world. But I've realized as I've grown into an adult that I want the best quality.
Yeah.
I want the best quality of life, the best relationships. I want everything to be at 1,000.
Yeah.
There's 100, but I want it to be at 1,000.
Yeah.
I've experienced the lows of the lows, and it was good at that time because I feel like I needed to be humble.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to stay grounded and not just humble, I think I needed to keep that with me. It's like, okay, I know what that feels like. I don't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, of
I
course.
see it in people. Are they thriving? Are they the best people for me? No. The answer was always no. So I had to keep building throughout the years until I finally got over this one line where it's like a neutral state where you're stabilized, you're fine, everything's okay, it's
Yeah.
good. But not all areas of your life are fulfilled. When I realized that, and finally crossed over that line, I had to take leaps. And now I'm up here.
Yeah, of course.
And if I can be up here, this is what I say. If I could be down here, what's up there? Okay? Now that I'm up here, I'm like, what is up there?
Yeah, even higher. Exactly.
Yeah, and I know it exists because if I can go from here to here,
Yeah,
there's something that's all the way up.
100%.
And I call it the top.
Yeah.
Okay, and there's people that are, that's why I created top percent,
Yeah.
by the way, because it's the top percent of yourself. Everything is fulfilled in your life, and you're achieving your maximum dreams. And even when you achieve those ones, there's still more.
Yeah, of
There's
course.
still so many things to unlock and to experience. So I think that's what drives me. But I think another thing is the ability to spread word about what I'm doing and what I've found.
Yeah.
I think that's something that drives me as well, because I could just be experiencing my life and reach the top and
Yeah.
I wouldn't have to share a single thing. But I'm sharing my journey with people, my findings. And I feel like that drives me because I'm seeing in real time people be uplifted and there's sparks in their eyes. Oh my gosh. I love those.
Yeah.
You ever see those
exactly.
sparkles?
No,
you
yeah.
have the sparkles. I have the sparkles. There's people out there in the world that have these sparkles in their eyes that never leave because they are so alive. They're so filled with the possibility of what's in front of them. All this exists and they're living.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the greatest, right?
Yes, it is.
It's nice.
And I feel like that's what drives me is that there are people, humans that are capable of being the best, being that unified world.
Yeah.
And I'm after it. I'm after it.
No,
Any way I
of
can
course.
help.
Yeah.
And what's that
100%.
second question?
How does your mindset inspire your everyday, your everyday actions to get to, where you want to be?
Well, I've established good discipline and being grateful for everything that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that my mindset has shifted me in ways that I see the world almost like a kid, in a sense, like, what can this do? Yes, it's light. I'm grateful for it and I'm inspired by it, but what else can it do?
Mm-hmm.
And what is the purpose of these things? I think that's the biggest question that my mindset has given me is, what is the purpose of this?
Yeah.
And I think in my everyday habits, I'm always performing my best and doing something to help others. And in turn, I feel like the world is going to bring me something back.
Yeah.
I really want to share this because not everybody knows this about me, but every single day, I'm talking every night. Every night before I go to bed, I do manifestation.
Okay.
And it's become so accustomed to my everyday living that I believe that's what brings me a lot of passion for what I'm doing. Not only the purpose, I know the purpose exists, but it fuels that passion that it never fades away. I have these boards dedicated filled with pictures of what my life, and it's broken down. This is how I know exactly what I'm going to do and what's the ideal way for me to live. So if something is not aligned with that, I know because I have words that are relative to that. But I do it every single night because having that, I'm a very big person for visionary thinking.
Okay.
And having those boards, it really helps fuel that passion in me.
I feel like you've actually hit it pretty spot on, right? I don't know, I mentioned mindset a lot, right? I feel like you just broke it down pretty damn good that anybody could understand it, because that, I feel like that's a big question for everybody, and I feel like that's why people get lost, honestly, and people lose a lot of passion is because they don't know what they're trying for, right? And you're talking about, you know, like the purpose of certain things, okay? And a lot of people lack that. A lot of people lack what is my purpose. And when you can't find the answer to something for so long, I feel like a lot of people they tend to just give up on it, right? Okay, I don't have the purpose, I don't have this, okay, so then I'm just gonna go and do what the average Joe does, right? And not that I'm saying that like my viewers are your viewers are like average Joes or anything like that, but in order to not be that or to like, you know, get past that, you have to have a purpose for something, right? It's the whole reason you go to college or like why you do something, right? If you wanted to be a doctor, the whole purpose of you going to like to school and everything would be to be like, you know, you work hard in that because your purpose is to be a doctor. So you know you have to work hard towards that. So that's good. That's perfect. On your everyday, like, you know, what I'm getting from you, like your everyday, there's a purpose towards something, right? So no matter what those actions are, you're taking them because you have a purpose. It's great to be able to share our mindsets with you guys. So hopefully you guys have learned something from this. It can take what we've said and it inspires you guys to go out and try to do, you know, better for yourselves or want to do more for yourselves, right? That's what we're all about here, okay? It's just, you know, everybody has a certain lifestyle they want to live, and what it takes is for you to, you know, want it. You know, you have to actually want it, put into place some actions. We've shared some of our actions that we take to get to the lifestyle that we like. So hopefully this podcast here has like, you know, inspired you guys to go out and do what's required for you guys to live like you guys want, you know, hopefully.
I just want to thank you all so much for tuning into today's episode of Circle of Influence on the Top Percent Podcast here with Tredarouis.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.